Hey guys, Hello Bella here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my 30-day sobriety experiment. I decided to take 30 days off from drinking alcohol after a night of binge drinking. I woke up feeling particularly horrible that morning and I just said enough is enough. I need to take some time off from this. I need to reevaluate my relationship with alcohol, and I need to dig a little deeper about why I tend to drink alcohol when I am not feeling well, why I use alcohol as a negative coping skill. So today I am on day 25. I've got 24 days of sobriety down, and I'm nearing the end of my alcohol experiment, and I've noticed some incredibly powerful changes in myself. I just want to say before I get into this video that you don't need to be an alcoholic to take time off from drinking alcohol or to question your relationship with alcohol. A lot of people in our society accept alcohol as a mainstream thing, and we don't really ever think too much about it unless it becomes problematic for us. And one of the things that I've learned is that alcohol is something that is a natural depressant. So when you drink alcohol, you are going to feel like sludge, like down the next day, and it takes a while for alcohol to leave your system. So even after a day or two of drinking, your body is still dealing with the effects of drinking that alcohol. So for someone like me who was an every weekend drinker, I would spend the first 2 or 3 days of the week just recovering from alcohol that I had drank on the weekend, and then before I knew it, it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday go by, and then I'm back to drinking alcohol on Friday and Saturday nights. So I never really got a chance to detox my body from alcohol, and over the last 24 days, I've really noticed that I have a lot of things going for me that I did not have before when I was drinking every single weekend. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about that. I do have another video about my first 21 days of sobriety, and for me, that video is a little darker than this video. It's kind of hard for me to look back on, but that video kind of chronicles the hardest time for me, which was those first couple of days of sobriety. I think the first week to the first 10 days were the most difficult for me, and now I'm feeling a lot better. The first change that I really noticed was that I have a lot more time when I'm not drinking. When I'm not going to the bar in the evening and I'm not going on the weekends, I kind of had a lot of free time, and it was overwhelming at first. What I realized is that I have to come up with other things for me to do, otherwise it was going to be really difficult to continue on with sobriety. So I started scheduling things. I started coming up with activities for me to do. I started reaching out to people and making plans. And honestly, this is something that I wish I had been doing all along. And it may be one of the major contributors to why I felt so lonely and why I felt so depressed, because I really was not reaching out to my friends and family. And I was taking it personally when we wouldn't speak for a couple of days or a couple of weeks at a time. And now I know, it's not something that is really personal. People just get busy. So one of the things that I started to do was to make more plans for myself. I decided to buy some tickets to events that are coming up in the next couple of weeks that are local, and then I bought some tickets to events that are coming up in the next couple of months, so like concerts, comedy shows, things that I knew I could look forward to. Another change I've noticed is that I am making better choices in every area of my life, which is kind of interesting to see how one positive change can result in other positive changes. I felt a lot more content lately. I felt proud of myself. I felt like a genuine love for myself that I was not feeling in the past year or two. And there were days in 2021 where I would just wait for the day to be over. Like I would just hope that the day was over so I could go to sleep. And I realized that's depression, and that's not all to do with alcohol, but there were a lot of days when I just thought, I just want this day to be done. And I realized, I'm wishing my life away trying to pass the time, and I don't want to live like that. I've definitely felt a lot calmer lately. I felt my anxiety going down, and I felt a sense of awareness. I'm able to listen to my thoughts a little bit more clearly without judging them, and I'm also able to differentiate between my thoughts and what is real, because your thoughts are not reality. They're just your thoughts. A lot of us have a tendency to go on that negative spiral. Some of us are prone to catastrophizing, which is like looking at a situation that could be bad and then assuming the worst possible outcome. So I'm really trying to be more mindful of my thoughts, especially when I go down the negative thought pattern. And a lot of this has to do with what we are consuming. So if we're consuming negative things. We're watching the news, we're watching videos, or we're watching TikTok and it's all negative things. You might want to reevaluate what you are consuming, because I've noticed that if I continue to consume negative things, that bleeds into other areas of my life. If you watched my previous video about my first 21 days of sobriety, you would see that I joined a gym. I joined a Crunch Fitness, and it's only like $15 a month, and I have been putting off joining a gym for probably over a year since I left Planet Fitness because I don't like them. So I joined a new gym, and that has been interesting. That's been a new place for me to go besides the bar in the evenings. And I haven't really made any friends there, but I have definitely started to familiarize myself with it a little bit more. They have a sauna, they have a lot of weights, they have pretty much every cardio equipment you could possibly think of. They have tons of free weights. So that has been a good way for me to kind of go somewhere and get outside the house and be around other people, which is what I was looking for in the first place, I think, when I was going to drink in the evenings. I think one of the reasons I joined the gym was because I had gained some mental energy that I didn't really have before. I just could not bring myself to do it. I would get anxious when I thought about doing it. I would get stressed out. I would feel like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be around all these new people. I don't want everyone looking at me. And, I had to just get over myself. And it's easy to say that to someone, but it's harder to do it. It's like when people say, well, why don't you just stop drinking? Or why don't you just stop binging? Or why don't you just stop this or that? It's not like we don't want to stop. It's just more difficult for some people to stop than others. So I've developed a sense of empathy through the years, just kind of dealing with some different issues myself and realizing that you don't really know what other people are going through, and you definitely don't know what they've already been through. So all of those things combined contribute to how we cope. Now, I don't have a lot of negativity to report on for this experiment. I would say the biggest negative emotions that I've felt are fear and loneliness. The main thing that I'm afraid of is going back to drinking. The other thing I'm afraid of is staying sober. So you can see how that might be a little bit conflicting. The reason I'm afraid of going back to drinking is because I feel like I could easily slip back into my old habits of drinking every single weekend, drinking in the evenings when I'm bored, drinking too much alone, going out by myself, and just putting myself in some dangerous situations and not improving myself socially, mentally, physically, because I would be stuck drinking instead of doing things to develop myself. So that is my main fear, is slipping back into a negative pattern with alcohol. My fear of being sober is that I actually like drinking and I like the way it makes me feel sometimes, and I like hanging out with my friends. I like going to social events. I like being able to let loose. I like being able to dance. I like the feeling of having my inhibitions lowered. I mean, who doesn't like the feeling of not caring what anyone else thinks? So that's my main fear. I guess my main fear is that if I do drink, it'll be bad. If I don't drink, it'll be bad. And realistically, I know that maybe there's a spot in between. Maybe there's a place where I can be a person who drinks and doesn't use alcohol as a coping skill. And I will say this video is kind of like, a lot of people will say, oh, just stop drinking forever. And I don't really necessarily like that mindset. I've discussed this pretty in depth with my therapist, and she doesn't think that I need to stop drinking altogether. She also agreed with me that it just may not be completely realistic, but that taking time off from drinking is a good thing for pretty much anybody to do, because it's gonna force you to examine some of your patterns. Now, the other negative thing was loneliness. So I felt lonely pretty much for the last couple of years. I felt pretty lonely, and it's not like a romantic loneliness. It's like a feeling like even in a room full of people, you feel like you're alone. You don't feel like you can relate to people. You feel like you're somehow an outsider. You might even feel like, I don't know, like everyone's figured whatever this is out but me. And I know that's not necessarily true, but I've felt lonely like that for pretty much my entire life. And I'm sure it stems from self-esteem issues. But I do know that when I drank, I felt less lonely. I felt more connected, and it really wasn't true, but it felt true. And so one of the things I'm trying to do is be more open, be more vulnerable, trying to become a better version of Bella that doesn't drink to meet people. And I know that, like, I have a YouTube channel, so that seems like, oh, she's really talkative. This is really hard for me to sit down and say all of this stuff to you guys, because I know that people will watch it and judge me. People will leave like hate comments, and people think like, oh, she has no self-control, she needs to get it together. And I have all of those thoughts, but I have to balance that out with thinking like, if I can make this video and help someone and help myself in the process, because this gives me a sense of awareness that I can't get anywhere else. If I can help someone and help myself, I'm gonna have to weigh the pros and cons and just deal with those negative comments when they come in. So regardless of what I decide to do at the end of my 30 days, I think that this experiment is something that everybody should try. It's October. A lot of people are doing Sober October, and I may even just stay sober until the end of October. October 22nd will be 30 days that I have been sober. So when the 22nd rolls around, I will reevaluate everything, but I'm gonna continue this vlog. I'm gonna continue for the next couple of days. For me, documenting this process has really helped me with clarity when I can see like, oh, you're going downhill, you're going in a negative spiral, you need to get out of that. And playing the tape forward really helps. Playing the tape forward basically just means that you envision what it would be like if you did drink, or if you did do whatever thing that you're struggling with. So like, if you are about to go drink, you might sit there for 5 or 10 minutes and just think, okay, what is the next 3 to 4 hours going to look like for me? And then what is the next day going to look like as a result of drinking? And that really does help. That helps me tremendously. This is my 4th sober weekend. It's Saturday, and I think I'm gonna go shopping. I'm gonna go out, go do some things, and just enjoy myself. But I will continue the vlog on to day 30, and I'll catch you guys soon. Hey guys, it's day 27 of sobriety. I'm in the sauna. It's really hot. I'm sweating it out. I'm sweating out all the toxins. I'm sweating out all the bad vibes. I'm sweating out all the crappy things that have happened to me. Overall, I'm in actually a pretty good mood. I've been working out probably about 4 to 5 times a week, and I have had a lot more energy, had a lot more time, had a lot more time to be with myself and just kind of go into things like this with an open mind and more clarity than I had before. Definitely seeing a better mindset, big mindset shift lately actually. There's only 3 more days left in my challenge, and I've stopped counting the days. I kind of just take it day by day now, but I'm not really feeling a strong craving. I'm just kind of feeling like I sort of would like to resume my normal programming, but then I'm like, you can't do that. That didn't work for you in the past. So I'm kind of fighting with my brain right now about what to do and how to possibly reintroduce alcohol into my life if that is something that I want to do. And I know a lot of you watching are probably like, why would you do that? So yeah, I understand those concerns as well, because I feel the same, but I'm just gonna commit to today. That's one thing that I've learned, is that you don't really have to worry that far into the future. You just worry about today, and then, you know, don't worry about anything else. So today I will be sober. I'm really tired. Probably about to go home, get a shower, and read some books or something. I'm reading A River Runs Through It right now, and it's a movie also, but it was first a book. It was a book written by an American English teacher, I believe. So yeah, that's what's going on with me on day 27. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update from the sauna. Hey guys, it's day 28 of my sobriety journey, and I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts with you guys today about how things are going. And one thing that I noticed today was that I had a really good day, and then yesterday I had a really good day. I'm having several really good days, and I just got to thinking, you know, this is not a fluke. This is a result of your actions, or a result of actions that you didn't take to drink. And so I thought, you know, what has really changed in the last 20 or so odd days is that I am no longer sitting there thinking about when my next drink is going to come. I'm sorry, I'm taking these off because this always happens when I try to record with my glasses on. So I noticed that I am no longer thinking about, should I go drink in the evening? Should I drink this weekend? It's just mostly a, I'm not drinking right now kind of feeling. I've noticed that my mind has had a lot more time to think on things about what I want. I even considered making a vision board today, which would not have been me a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago when I was in the throes of my depression. I would just think, what's the point, you know? life is kind of pointless and everything that I could do, I've probably already done, so what's the point? And now I'm like, there's so much more that I want to do. There's so many more things that I want to accomplish. If you see my hand moving, I'm petting my dog. He's like my emotional support animal for making videos. But there's so much more that I want to do and so much more that I want to be. And I know that alcohol was really depriving me of that, and it was taking away so much from my life that I didn't really realize it was taking away. It stole a lot of the creative parts of me. When I was hungover, or when I was tired, or when I was anxious or depressed, I wasn't able to do as many of my creative pursuits that I've been doing. And you may have noticed that I've been putting out more YouTube videos lately, and that's because I've had so much free time and I've had so much mental clarity lately that I just have to do something with all this energy. So I apologize if they're not videos that you really want to see, but part of it for me is just trying to get better on camera, trying to have better quality editing, better productions, better lighting, better everything. So I hope that that has had an impact on the channel over the last couple of weeks. I actually spent some time with my grandma today. I went over to her house for a little while and we watched some YouTube videos together. We're actually planning on going on an Alaskan cruise together. And that is something that has transpired over the last 2 weeks or so, just because I kind of put the idea out there that I was ready to do some traveling, and you know, things kind of lined up to where I was able to find someone to go with me, and we both have the money, we both have the time, so we're thinking, why not do it? I guess the point of this update is to just tell you that a lot of things seem to be lining up for me lately, and I can credit a lot of that to sobriety. Sobriety in the last couple of weeks has given me a lot more energy and just more time to focus on what is meaningful to me and figure out what is meaningful to me. So I guess that's what I'm working on now as I continue through this experiment. And if you guys are not familiar with what I'm actually doing or what I'm practicing, I may have said this in the past, but there is a concept called the alcohol experiment. There's a book written by a woman named Annie Grace, and she has a huge following for people who are starting to question their relationship with alcohol. She has a book that you read a couple pages in every single day as you're following along a 30-day sobriety challenge. And I'm not reading the book right now, but I have read it before. And so that is what I'm sort of practicing right now in order to question my relationship with alcohol and in order to kind of hit the reset button for me, because I know that personally, I was going down a slippery slope. I looked back in my journal today and I had begun in like January, February, March of this year to write down my alcohol intake as a way to measure it and try to manage it. And I was drinking on average about 10 out of 30 days per month. So every 3 days I was drinking. And you know, it doesn't take a genius or a rocket scientist to figure out that that is not healthy for me. That's why I wasn't making any progress in my goals. And then I would be frustrated because I wasn't making progress in my goals, so I would drink. And now I'm like, how did I not see this? How did I just like manage to ignore all of reality? So that is sort of, I did some reflecting today. Reflecting is not always pleasant, but it is useful and it is necessary. So that's what I'm going to keep doing and keep learning and keep moving forward. Hey guys, it's day 29. I have only 2 days left to go of the 30 days in my sobriety challenge. I am just gonna do a little kind of get ready with me because I gotta be somewhere in 45 minutes. And guess who procrastinated and has not gotten ready yet? That would be me. So sobriety doesn't fix everything. So I am going to be going to a birthday party at an Italian restaurant that I really like, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to get a lot of food because I'm still following my calorie diet. So I am already planning on ordering a grilled chicken salad, just kind of having my plan in place before and planning not to drink again tonight. And usually I would really have to wrestle with that. I would really struggle with whether or not I was going to drink when I went out to eat with my family, because, you know, in the past, you know, I would get a little anxious, even though, yeah, it is my family, but I would still kind of feel like maybe I need to get there a little bit early and have a drink and like loosen up before everybody gets there. And that is something that I would probably do about 50% of the time when I was meeting people out to eat. I would go and get a drink before the outing. Like I would go somewhere else where I didn't think that there was that many people, and I would go have a drink by myself. And that way, when it got time to go to the outing, I would have a little buzz before I got there. Now, obviously that is a little bit screwed up. I realize that, but that's the anxiety brain for you guys. It's just, it makes it seem like alcohol is the fix to everything when really alcohol was making everything worse. One thing that I've never really talked about or thought about, I guess, is how shitty alcohol makes you look. Like, your face looks terrible, your face looks all like droopy, and your eyes get all red and glazed over, and it just looks terrible. Like, whenever you see someone who's drunk after a long night of drinking, like, they just look so awful. Like, they look like they've been through a haunted house or something. So I'm happy that I will not be looking terrible tonight, hopefully. I mean, I'm just gonna look like me, but at least I'm not gonna look like me who's drunk. I've never put my makeup on camera before, so this is a little weird for me, but I thought, hey, why not? Other YouTubers do it. I'm getting to the point where I'm being a lot less judgmental of my ideas lately. Like, I'm just kind of going with the flow and deciding, like, you know, I can try things. I can try different things and see what works and what I like to do, and maybe branch out a little bit. I really thought that alcohol made me more confident, and I thought alcohol made me more adventurous, but it really made my world small because I could only go to places with alcohol. I really only wanted to go to events with alcohol. This is why girls have to wear eyeliner. I'm going to show you one eye done and one eye not done. Wham, bam, wham, bam, wham, bam. I'm pretty tired because I did work out today. I just decided, you know what, I'm going to work out before the dinner. That way I have no excuse not to get the workout in afterwards, because, you know, whenever you are going to get a good meal, it's really hard to work out afterwards. All I want to do after I eat something good is just take a nap. Another thing that is kind of funny is that whenever I stopped drinking at first, I felt like I was seeing alcohol everywhere. Like, I felt like I could not get away from it. But now I just honestly feel like, I don't know, like, I don't really even think about it that much. Like, the most part that I thought about it was the other day I thought about the fall craft beers. And I thought about, like, how bad I wanted to try some of those, like the Oktoberfests. Just to be, like, perfectly honest with you guys, I'm still not sure how I'm going to handle alcohol at the end of my 30-day experiment. I'm not sure how that's going to come about, if I'm just going to wait until there's an event with alcohol. I've actually kind of thought about ordering this book. It's about mindfulness around drinking, and you know, it's maybe not for everybody, but I thought it might be something for me. I'm definitely sort of like, I don't know, I just can't get behind the whole all or nothing approach. I don't know. I'm not willing to stop drinking forever, but I do think that coming to the end of this experiment, I've really noticed all the ways that alcohol was really deeply harming my life. Okay, I gotta dry my hair, and while I dry my hair, I'm gonna do some thinking and then come back. Alright guys, through the power of editing magic, my hair is dry and I'm ready to go. I've never put my makeup on in this thing before, so I really can see all of the details and the flaws in my face. Woof. Okay, so this is kind of what I was thinking about when I was drying my hair. Obviously, I was thinking about, you know, going back to drinking. What is that going to look like going forward? Am I going to do more 30-day challenges? Am I going to try to go longer? Am I going to enforce more rules on myself? And to be honest with you, I don't think I'm going to do any rules, because in the past that has really led me down a just path of overthinking, and I don't want to do that again. But I thought maybe if you guys were up for it, maybe we might want to do like a dry January all together, and we could kind of keep each other accountable. Maybe even do like a dry January / let's get 30 minutes of exercise every single day for all of January, and just kind of do a little challenge to kickstart 2022. Can't believe it's going to be 2022. That is crazy. I hope that you guys know I sincerely appreciate those of you who have left comments on my sobriety videos, because it means a lot to me that you're following along with me in this journey. And I know that sobriety and like alcohol mean different things to different people. Some people say, oh, I never drink, it's not a problem for me, I could never drink again for the rest of my life. And then some people say, oh, I'm drinking as soon as I wake up in the morning. So, you know, we all have different struggles and we all have different things that we're dealing with. And I just wanted to be accountable to someone. And so that's kind of why I wanted to film this process. But I'm rambling, so I'm going to go. I'm going to get me something to eat and see my family and do it all sober. Hey guys, I finally made it to 30 days sober, and I'm so excited to talk to you about the benefits that I've noticed over the last 30 days and kind of wrap up my findings from this experiment. No doubt when I started this challenge, I was not in a good place. I was feeling really depressed, really down, really just doing stuff that I didn't want to be doing, falling into patterns that I did not want to be me, and just overall I don't know, like I had become some version of myself that I really did not care for very much. So I decided once again to try for 30 days of sobriety. And this is the first time that I've ever been able to successfully complete 30 days of sobriety. I have been drinking since I was 14 and I'm 27 now. So this is the longest stretch of time that my body has ever been alcohol free. Pretty much every goal that I'm working on now is moving in the right direction. I'm taking the steps that I need to take to move closer to my goals instead of further away from them. I'm feeling a lot better mentally. I'm having more energy, more clarity, more zest for life, and everything in my life has just gotten better from being sober for the last 30 days. Since I haven't been drinking alcohol, I haven't done anything that I regret. I haven't been in any harmful situations. I haven't spent a ton of money on booze or eating food that would not follow along with my diet. And I've been going to the gym probably 4 to 5 times a week. Another thing that's gotten better from this challenge is that I've been learning to process my feelings instead of running away from them. So in the past, whenever I was having the bad feelings or the creeping in depression in the middle of the night, I would just go and drink. I've also started to manifest more things that I wanted. I booked 3 vacations in the last 30 days, and I wanted to book those vacations for a long time, and I just, for some reason, like didn't let myself or didn't believe that I deserved to go on them, or I thought that there wasn't enough money to go on them. And then this past week or two, I've just been like, no, like I have all the resources, I have the money, and I have the means to do this. So I booked myself an Alaskan cruise. I'm going on a cruise to Cozumel, and I'm going to the beach for a week. So those are all things that are happening as a result of kind of believing that there is a life outside of this whole drinking, getting depressed mindset. And, you know, honestly, with all the money that I'm saving on not buying alcohol constantly at bars, I'm able to go on a week-long beach vacation and have it not be that big of a deal. Another thing that I realized is that not everyone drinks, and not everyone drinks like I was drinking, which was a lot. So I would be the person who has 3 or 4 drinks just to warm up to drink. And then I would notice that other people might have 3 or 4 drinks for the entire night. I would have 3 or 4 drinks just to start off. And I might drink anywhere between 10 to 12 drinks on a night out of drinking, which is a lot for someone who's only 5 foot tall. I figured out that other people didn't drink like that. And I also figured out that like pretty much everyone that I was drinking with has not contacted me at all in the last 30 days to even see if I'm alive. So, I mean, you know, it kind of says a lot towards the kind of people that I was hanging around, and that, you know, if I go back tomorrow and I sit down at the bar, they will probably welcome me back. But it's just not the kind of people who really are going to be checking on you when you're not there, when you're not around. You're just kind of going to be forgotten if you're not in that drinking circle. And I've started to realize that I need to figure out how to make more friends outside of alcohol, outside of those small circles that I was fitting myself into, because I felt like that was the only place that I could fit in. But that is really not true. I'm really trying to branch out. I'm trying my best. I have really bad anxiety about meeting new people, but I know that like I'm someone that I would want to be friends with. I know that, but it's just so hard for me to meet people. So during the last 30 days, I also realized that I don't have to have everything figured out. I can actually literally just live life like one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, or like a couple hours at a time, and that I don't have to have my entire life planned out. And that is so freeing to someone like me who has an anxious brain and wants every little detail to be all in order. Like, just to kind of realize that like literally all you have is today. Like every single day you wake up is a gift, and that if you get today, you should just be thankful for today. It doesn't mean you shouldn't plan, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't have goals and look forward to things, but it does kind of mean like, look, let's just take it for what it is. This is all we've got. This is all we have control over, and this is all we can really worry about, is like one day at a time. Bad habits around alcohol are really easy to form and really hard to break. And I just want to encourage anyone who is struggling with this to give it a shot, to do the 30-day challenge and just kind of see the changes that you see in yourself. Doesn't mean that you're an alcoholic, doesn't mean that you have to stop drinking forever, and it certainly doesn't mean that you have any kind of character flaw, but it certainly is a good idea to try things once in a while to change up our normal life. And just kind of trying this experiment and having a little bit of curiosity and a little bit of an open mind is the reason that I think I was successful this time around. Because before, when I've tried to do this challenge or I've tried to do any kind of sobriety attempt, I failed because I would put so much pressure on myself. I would believe that I was a complete failure if I took a sip of alcohol, and that the minute that I went back to alcohol, everything was going to go back to shit. Everything was going to be terrible for me. I was basically going to slip back into my old patterns, but I really truly do not believe that anymore. I believe that this is something that I can get a grip on. I think a lot of what I was doing was not really substance abuse based as much as it was just patterns of coping that I was developing that just weren't working for me, but I just didn't know what else to do. I just did not understand what else other people were doing. And so stepping away from that life has really kind of been able to open my eyes to see that, like, other people miraculously deal with life sober all the time, and they don't have like fits of rage or emotional breakdowns or anything like that. They don't drive their car off the bridge. So I'm hoping that I can, slowly work my way into this civilized society. Most of all, with this sobriety, I have found a renewed sense of joy for life. I told you guys before in the video that there were days where I would just wait for the day to be over so I could just go to sleep. And I would just think, only a couple more hours until I can be unconscious again. And that was not a good place to be in. Trust me, I was not happy. I was feeling like every day was just something that I just had to get through and deal with. And now I'm just kind of waking up like, let's go. I'm excited. I'm ready to start the day. What are we going to do today? Like you got that energy that you just can't get enough of life. Like everything's cool. Everything's good. While I have this wave of positive energy, I'm going to try to take it for what it is and use it for what it is, and just remind myself that I got myself here and I can get myself anywhere that I want to go as long as I put in the work and as long as I remain mindful and have good coping skills. Going forward, I think some of the things that I would like to do are to not really be one of those people who keeps beer in their house, because I always had like 2 or 3 different kinds of beer in my house. I might have wine, and I've actually had moonshine in my house for like the last 20 or so days, and I haven't touched it. And I mean, it's not something that really has bothered me, so I don't think, it's really going to bother me going forward, but it's just something that I was kind of saving for a special occasion, and I think that that's what I'll continue to do with it. I'm not really feeling an urge to drink at all right now, but as far as sharing this with you guys, I hope that you understand that this was a 30-day experiment, and that this is my life, this is my personal life. So whatever you comment and say, that's your opinion, you're entitled to that, but I don't need to live my life based on what you think is the best thing for me. I have to do what is best for me based on what Bella thinks is best for me. It's definitely a good feeling to wake up every day and be excited and not dread my life anymore, and just kind of feel like there's something that is possible for me that I didn't even believe was possible a couple weeks ago, and that I may even be able to pull myself out of a stupor that I've been in for several years. And it's just a good feeling knowing that I'm taking these steps to go in the right direction. So thank you guys so much for watching the video, and thank you guys for kind of supporting me during this journey, these 30 days. I hope that you guys will think about doing your own experiments, if not for alcohol, for other kinds of things, for different challenges. And anytime you can do something and just kind of push yourself outside of what you're comfortable with, I think that it's a good experience, and it's always an opportunity for growth. So thank you so much, guys. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like this kind of content, you can always subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care until then, okay?